Expressions. We are kind of going through the handbook. For those of you that are fully virtual, or if you happen to be quarantined, you can refer back to this in the future. So we're going to go through the handbook, which is something that we did in class today. One of the big things, this is posted for you on Canvas, and I believe we'll be getting you binders that have all of this information in it as well as the music. So hopefully you should have a copy of this that you can follow along with. So the number one thing I want to point out to you right from the beginning is time commitment as far as extracurricular concerts, rehearsals, things like that. In Expressions, we don't have a whole bunch, kind of on purpose. This is kind of to get you used to the choir program. So we're not going to require you to be here after school a lot, but if we have a concert or a tech rehearsal, anything like that, you are required to be there. The only time, and you see this at the bottom under performance responsibilities, the only time where it's an excused absence is if maybe during a rehearsal you have a sporting event, so a meet or a game that you need to be at, that's fine. Or if you have a family emergency or a wedding, something that is either once in a lifetime or it's impossible to know, right? Some serious illness, something like that. The only thing that we need from you is the excused absence form, and that's in the back of this handbook. We need that 2 weeks in advance, at least. If you can get it in sooner, even better. So we need that from you. Work does not count as an excused absence. You need to work around your work schedule. Just the same as concerts or birthday parties or other events that are not once in a lifetime, right? So otherwise you need to be here. Those would not be excused. If you do have an excused absence, you need to make up an alternate assignment that we will give you when we find out you're not going to be there. I believe you can read the rest of this on this page, this first page. It kind of talks about choir placement and how that goes. All of the auditions for next year's choirs happen towards the end of February. And you can see right there, we do a little song from memory, sight reading, tonal memory, and then if you want to be a part of a competitive show choir, you have to do a dance and a separate video, but we'll talk about that more when we get closer. The other thing, grading and assessment, you can kind of read through that. It's pretty standard. Most of our grading honestly is going to be based on you being actively participating in rehearsal, going to concerts, but there is the element of music theory and knowing your music, knowing your dance, knowing your sight reading, all of that is a part of it. So you can read through all of that. The choirs at Carmel High School, again, go ahead and read through. Those are just all the choirs that we offer. And kind of what those entail. So some of them have more time commitment than others. Some of them have dancing while others don't. And that just kind of gives you an idea of what's offered and what you could potentially take later on. So read through that on your own. This choir costume information is not super pertinent right now. We hopefully will be able to do costumes later this year. That'd be awesome. But right now we're not sure. So all of this information will become relevant if we are able to do costumes. It basically talks about your undergarments for both guys and girls, and shoes. That's another really important one. But again, if we're able to do this, then we'll get back to it. Otherwise, if you have questions, let us know. The next page is the choir calendar, which has a bunch of changes to it. In general, it's kind of a lot of it's on hold, right? So everything for spring semester, really anything past October, we're just waiting to see what happens and how things change. One of the first things that you need to know is there is going to be a fall concert. We're looking at October 10th right now, and it's going to be sort of a rotation between a couple or a few choirs throughout that Saturday. We don't know the rotations yet. As soon as we do, we'll let you know and what time you need to be here, but you won't be required to be here the whole day. So you'll be here a few hours, you'll perform, your guardians, your parents, your family can watch you, and then you leave, we sanitize everything, and then the next couple choirs come in. If we need to do a tech rehearsal, we haven't decided for sure on whether we'll need it, but if we do, it would probably be October 9th, which is a Friday evening. So you need to mark both of those dates down. So October 9th would be a tech rehearsal, October 10th, that full Saturday from like 11 to 7, block out that time, and then we'll let you know a more specific time for your fall concert. Another thing to point out, all of the ovation meetings, any kind of parent meetings, those are all going to be virtual now, and we'll send all of that information out to you soon if we haven't already. At the very bottom it talks about A projects. That's something you probably don't know yet, and it's okay because it's kind of changing. So the A projects were usually something that we did quarterly, and that would be a written evaluation of a live performance that you would see. It was pretty open. It was kind of up to you to find something to review, but since there aren't a lot of live projects or performances happening, we're making it kind of a more specific written assignment, and that will be something that we send out to you probably on a virtual day, so be looking for those. On the next page, the grading policy. This has also changed a little bit. We're making things a little bit more even, so we have what you see is like 40% music theory, 10% class participation, etc. There's actually a few more categories, so we're doing rehearsal discipline and effort. We're doing performance reviews, theory, large projects, short assignments, performances. Am I missing any?
For what?
The grading policy, the different sections. So all of those categories are going to be around 20%. So we're making it a little bit more even so that since we are doing more virtual work, everything is more balanced, and so it's easier to pass each category instead of music theory being 40%, and since there's more of an emphasis on music theory, if you happen to not do so well on a quiz, we want you to still be able to recover from that and be able to feel good about your grade in the class. So those have changed a little bit, and if you have more questions about those categories, let us know, but it's not exactly what's here on the handbook. Below that is all those A project. We've already talked about that, but that's waived, so you don't need to worry about that. If you want to read through it, go ahead. The choir fee information. On this page, you see all of what your fees pay for, and usually you'll see things like the costumes and holiday spec meals and things like that. If we get to do those, that's awesome, and we'll let you know, but some of those things aren't necessarily happening right now. However, you get a binder, you get music, you get t-shirts, you get professional choreographers, you get all of these really cool things for that fee. And then we'll get to what that fee is in just a second, but those are kind of all the things that you get from that. It tells you how you can pay to Ovation, and it also has the next couple pages. It has the processing choir fee payments, and I'll get to that in a second. One of your fee reducers is the mask sale that's happening right now, and that information has been sent out a couple times through email, but if you still have questions about it, let us know. Basically, if you sell a pack of masks, $10 goes directly to your fees, which is great. And so that actually is going to help you guys a lot. The other couple things, poinsettias, those happen later on this semester. You get $2 for every poinsettia that you sell, and it's a huge fundraiser. I mean, we sell a bunch of poinsettias, so that will help you a bunch. And then script participation, basically something you can set up where some money when you spend on Kroger, Amazon, I feel like that's one, there's more, but there's so many. So it basically you set it up to where when you spend money at those places, a portion of it comes back and helps you with your fees, which is also really cool. And if you have questions about that specifically, talk to one of us. So on the next page, it talks about the specific fees and what that cost will cover specifically right now. So your t-shirt, your music, your binder, your theory workbook, sight reading, choreographers, things like that. And your fee right now is $50, and that's different from a normal year, right? But that $50 would be really easy to pay off just by selling masks. So sell your masks. You have to sell 5 packs to pay for that. Super easy. If something happens where we're able... we're able to open up and do more things, have more opportunities to perform, holiday spec, all of those really cool things, we'll let you know because fees might start to alter a little bit. So be flexible with us because we don't really know yet, and we'll let you know. As far as financial assistance, if you're struggling to pay those fees, that's okay. We don't judge you on that. The only thing that we ask is for you to communicate with us. So if you are struggling to pay or you need to set up so much of an amount each month, some kind of payment plan, we just have to know that so we can communicate that to our treasurer and we can file that away. So let us know. We get into a tricky spot when we don't hear anything from you. So financial assistance is a thing, but you've got to let us know. On the next page, it talks all about processing those choir fee payments and how to do that. You can read through that on your own. And if you have any questions, let us know. The next little portion is the code of conduct, very similar to the rest of school, right? Definitely don't break any school rules, don't have alcohol, don't have drugs, don't push people, be nice to other people. And there's first, second, and third violations that will happen. Just don't do anything that could get you in trouble and we'll be okay. So read through all of that. Let us know if you have questions, and hopefully we won't have to deal with all of that. But if we do, now you know. The very last page is the request for excused absence or tardy form. This is what we need if you have an excused absence. We need this 2 weeks in advance from the event that you might be late or absent from. So please fill that out, get it to us as soon as possible. If you need more than one, just let us know. We can make you copies, all of that. So that is the handbook. The other things you have in your binder are your music, and then you also have a little vocal technique tips and tricks packet in the back, which are just some key concepts to vocal technique, vocal health, all of that. And we'll be referencing that through the year. Trying to think, the only other thing, you'll be looking at music theory. All of that should be uploaded on Canvas. That's something that we're going to be doing this year. As far as Canvas, really quick, if you haven't already found out, if you go to modules, that's where you find everything, right? So the homepage has learning modules, classroom resources, and contact me. When you go to learning modules, that's where you'll find each day's activities or the videos from the class. So make sure that you go there every day to find everything that you need. Classroom resources will have the handbook, I believe a PDF of your music, those theory workbooks, all of that. And then the contact us, that's where you can find all of our information, but it's also in the handbook and online at carmelchoirs.org. Speaking of carmelchoirs.org, make sure you fill out your data form. So that's women's data form. If you go to carmelchoirs.org and you go to resources and then forms and downloads, so that's a lot, right? But resources, forms and downloads, and it says women's data form. You need to fill that out and turn that in as soon as possible so that we can get you things like t-shirts, which is really fun. So please do that. If you haven't set up Remind yet, that's kind of the last little thing that I have to say. Remind is an app you've probably already used in other classes. The code for expressions is at 20exp21. So at 20exp21. So you can go onto that Remind app, sign up if you haven't signed up, and then that's your code to join the class. We'll give you things like announcements, which room to go to. It's really important for you to be signed up to that. So do that if you haven't done it yet. I believe that's it. That's a lot. Please let us know if you have any questions. Reach out. We're happy to help. And good luck this semester. Yeah, we'll see you in class.